Okay, so now that we have the local area of Qai-Farrah figured out, um, we know like we needed a pretty large delta area. We know we have to accommodate for some type of bay. We know what the coastline's general shape's going to look like, and we know the different population centers. And so we're going to move to a new map, and we're going to make the region above Qai-Farrah. So Qai-Farrah is going to be maybe like this size, and then we're going to go ahead and start working on the entire region, potentially the kingdom, maybe the neighboring kingdoms. I want it to be on the southern coast, so I'm going to flip it around. Oh. Yes. Okay. Those rivers, pretty large compared to how big the coastline is. Two, three, four, five, six. I'm not going to be able to do this the same way. Oh, we don't want it to fade out actually, or fade in. It's going to collect water from a large swath of land. That's right? Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I hit that. Okay. Increase re-entry distance. That's not really how it looks. Then again, it is a river, so it's constantly changing. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Delta drawn out. Pretty much the same. Okay. In terms of elevation, we have none. Just some deserts. So let's switch over. I don't want this coast to look. Maybe this section is like jutting out. And this is where the elevation is. And this is why maybe it's not a fertile place. It's got some islands and mountains along here that are blocking wind flows. They catch all the storms or something. Maybe we'll put like a valley this way. Valley that way. Let's make this river meander. Let's close this off this way. Maybe have like a lake. That looks like Africa. There you go. Lots of land to work with here. Just like that. Maybe we'll have like a small lake here or something. A couple of canyon tributaries. Oh, nice. Pretty much what we were looking for. Oh, damn. I mean, that's alright. Man, I've been zoned out. Um, it's been- so I'm making these rivers. I'm trying to be conscious of basically whenever a river meanders, um, there's not a high velocity, so a lot of the alluvial debris in the river will start to drop, and so they build up, and that's whenever usually velocity is dropping because um, the change in altitude from one point of the river to the next is less so. So in high mountains and canyons and stuff where you see rapids, they'll usually be along a straight path. It's not going to be a rapid around like a big turn. Um, Whenever you see meandering points in rivers, usually the river is pretty slow. Um, that's where you get, if you've ever seen like an oxbow lake, or some people call them horseshoe lakes, it's basically points where the river meanders, but it continues to erode. So, like, say here, the water's coming down and it's pressing into this bank, right? So it's wearing away on this land, and then it comes down, and then presses into this bank, and it's wearing away at this land. And eventually, it'll wear away and wear away and wear away and wear away to the point where this side's being worn away from here, and this side's being worn away from here, and you'll have a tiny little bit of land, and then it will break, and then water will begin to flow through this point, and so this is no longer. Um, this allows it to keep its velocity, so more water is traveling this way than there is this way, and eventually this will, as it's coming around, right? It's coming up against this side. It's not really going to be this side. This side is the slower side of the river. It's going to drop its debris, and eventually you'll have a new riverbank here as this one flows this way, and this will become like an oxbow or a shoe lake. I'm probably wrong a little bit, a lot of it maybe, but that's basically it. So in flatter areas, lower altitude areas, your rivers will meander more. Higher altitude areas, like where I intend this to be, um, they're going to be straighter because the water is moving at a greater pace. Yeah, so yeah. Boom, a little bit more meandering than this one. And then combined, they become larger, so I changed the width. So it was at a 3 for these, and then I set it to a 4. And this one's a 5, so you can tell this one feeds into this one. You can tell this one's the main one. I like to put lakes at convergent points of major rivers because lakes are cool. You know, you get fresh water so people can build agricultural areas all over, so it's going to be a high population point. It's easy trade because it's not super deep, so there's not like mega waves from the pressure of the tides or anything, so you don't really worry about tides. You're just going to roll around. Yeah, cool points to put like trade hubs or trade empires or whatever, I think. Did I talk about these islands to break away? I think I did. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Oh, I don't do these. Gotta leave that area alone for now. I'll still fill this in. Okay. So let's do tiny little lake. say a little bit larger. Am I going crazy? No, you're not going crazy. Let's do that one. So we'll start with, yeah, let's do 3. Reduce the meander. There you go. We'll switch to 2. Switch back to 3. Increase meander. That didn't really increase the meander at all. Why does it look so exacerbated? I feel like, whatever. It's like a 0.1 difference, but it's right. And then let's do 2. Alright. Get those sorted out. Let's go ahead and drop some more land. Much better. Okay. Let's start with some mountains so we can frame our storm systems and determine where vegetation will grow and stuff like that. I like these ones. I always like these ones. Yeah, they're pretty. These ones are alright. I think it's the same below res. Or no, different size. Okay. I use these for the sand dunes. Oh, this is as big as they come. Okay. Yeah, that would be a problem. Alongside the behemoth. Let's see what this looks like. I'm curious. Oh. Oh, I like that a lot. Held on for too long. I like this brush a lot, actually. I've never used the brush for the mountains before. I like how the reason I like it is because it's leaving these little pathways in between, so I don't have to go through and imagine that I can use the random generation for a little extra help. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Other mountain area is going to be over here. So we know we're going to have a desert this way, and then we need a desert this way. Right? Yeah. Honestly, it looks like a bigger desert this way. So let's switch over to our dunes. Make sure none of these are really mountains. Not really, I guess. Are these still our best ones? No, these. Too small. Yeah, this one over. Let's bring down the size. Spray brush. It's a pretty large desert, right? Okay, at least we have our commitments now. We know we already need deserts there. We have deserts there. Now we can look good. how the rest of this place will fare. So let's do some forests. We need, okay, pretty much just a light coating around. Okay, cool. For the rest, I'm gonna say yeah. It'll be like tropical forest all along this coastline. I think maybe more like a rainforest there. Oh gosh. Or bayou. Bayou mix. I wouldn't go that deep. Switch to the eraser. Just trees. And then that will change. The color doesn't look good right now, but that'll change with the painting of the map. So let's get a, yeah, it's a swampy green. Let's get in close. Okay, see. Let's go ahead and fill out this whole area as swamp. Tropical swamp. Okay. Let's make sure these mountains stay dirty brown. It's more like sandy brown. Yeah, that's good. That's a nice contrast. Not a huge deal. Not unpleasant. My reason for this swampy area is I remember reading or watching a video or something on the Romans doing expeditions to find the source of the Nile, or to travel down the Nile to its furthest extent. One of the two. Not for like scientific reasons or anything. I think they were just exploring. But one of the reasons they couldn't continue past a certain point was once they reached the highlands, there was a massive, like, I guess it was like a mangrove, but like a heavily thicketed, forested, marshy wetland, and they just could not progress. I don't know if it was because they couldn't finding where to walk, or if it was because of bugs or what. I don't remember. But it exists in sandy places that can accumulate enough moisture. Like, I think it was meant to be like to the west of the northernmost area of like, or I think it's supposed to be like around where South Sudan is now. I think that's where it was supposed to be. So. Let's get some more mountain brown. And then let's get some kind of tropical forest green. Oh. Too like neon. Needs to be flatter. Yeah. I don't know. Is that better? Now it just kind of looks like a highlighter. Maybe we just kind of add more vegetation and we'll be alright. Or maybe we just change the color. Yeah, somehow that's better. I don't know, it feels like it's too rich in color now. I feel like maybe a drier color is what we need. Maybe I need to change the color itself. Aha! We may have found our color. This thing, that thing. Let's go ahead and just do a rough patch over this. This will be our base color. It's actually what I should have done from the get-go. Just do over large blobs, and that way I can cut away from them rather than trying to put both colors exactly where I want them first time. Just do one color rough and the other color detail. And maybe we have another river here to break out. I might do that. A very weak river. Will be the border for this desert. Oh gosh. Well, larger dunes further in. Yeah, but these are really dense. I guess that'd be the point, right? It's not like you have set paths in the desert. The sands are ever shifting. I wouldn't get sand is that deep, maybe that deep. Okay. Let's get down the caravan points. That way I can get an idea of where I might want to place other population centers outside of Qai-Farrah. Okay. So Qai-Farrah is a big town, but it's not that big. Oh, hold on. Why are you like that? Yeah, it's a big place, but it's not that big. So let's just do. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me turn off the brush first. Inside of trees. Okay. Alright, well, while this loads, I'm gonna roast it. Okay. Now I can see the size. I really wish I could do like 5. Nope. Okay. In that case, let's just. It's powerful, but it's not so powerful. Like, it's not gonna have that big of a representation for its fort. So let's literally just put like a tower. Oop. There we go. That'll be fine. Throw this down for that religious center. Is this going to be, well, that's still fine. There's nothing else here is usable, really. It's all just too big for what we're working with. Let's just throw down the caravan points like we talked about. How many caravan points do we have? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Where's that second one at? Okay, it's a little ways from the regular. So right there. Last one, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good representation for Qai-Farrah. And throw down, I don't know, I guess small enough? There we go. Man, that really sucks. Okay. Maybe we just don't even represent those villages, honestly. Just put Qai-Farrah, put some farms. Yeah. Let us throw down someplace that does have a great fortress, though. I honestly don't know. Well, we have our caravan points out. So let's see. We'll do this one. Yeah, that'll be good. Increase width. Oh, that's not what I wanted actually. Increase roughness. Okay. There's just one path out of there, right? Yeah. And there's two paths out of this bad boy. And then to the left. Okay. Let's expand the desert. Alright. Now we can throw down some locations. Damn it, I did it again. Alright. Turn off the brush. Alright. Spray brush off. Caravan points. Let's see what we were talking about earlier about like grand commerce ways through lakes. Let's go and pretend that's what's happening here. There we go. Bada bing. Boom. Sorry, let me finish this up real quick. All right. We're gonna have a lighter. Okay. We have our caravan points. Probably the extent of Qai-Farrah's influence. Who else are we gonna have? Probably gonna still have the same. Let's put a big ass city right here on the lake. They're probably gonna profit a shit ton from the trade. That's way too big. That's just still way too big. Let's pretend this is the gate. An elaborate gatehouse. I can mirror this. Yes, excellent. I can just, oh, excellent. Simply fantastic. I thought I'd have to change its position, like in the loading order, but it did it automatically. I'm pretty new to rolling my own cigarettes rather than buying the store-bought ones because I don't want to get all the nasty chemicals. The extra nasty chemicals. Obviously, I'm still getting the nasty chemicals. It's still bad for you. Don't encourage smoking. But one thing I noticed the most is that those nasty chemicals seem to just make it burn a lot better, for the most part. Like from first-hand experience, I know that. Obviously, I've been told that before, but yeah, because I have to constantly relight this thing. Not constantly, maybe like twice. So these people are probably of the same cultural influence as Qai-Farrah. So it'll probably also be called Kai. We'll just say like Kai is the local word for city, right? So Qai-Farrah is city of joy. This will be like Kai, and then we'll look up whatever name means like shimmering, the city of shimmering, because it'll be like a not a very deep lake, maybe like 100 meters, not super deep. So it'll reflect a lot of light. Well, it's still a lake. Lake's pretty brown. Would this lake be brown? I don't know. I'll have to look up some lakes later. I'll do this. I'm not going to do this right now. Right? I'm sticking to Qai-Farrah because like I was talking about whenever we were building Qai-Farrah, you want to do your local stuff so that you know what your dependencies can be. So like because I did the local stuff here, we know our dependencies of these caravan trails, right? For now, we're just going to place general idea of what we want. I kind of doing it up because I like making little city maps or cities, but it'll just be a placeholder, and then we'll go and we'll make, a region map for this city, and then we'll come back and then we'll edit this in its detail for further connections up on the rest of the map, the northern side of the map. For now, let's flip back to the terrain. So let's go to vegetation. Come back in here. Add some of these back because they were just too close to the water, that was all. Oop. And then maybe back in here too. And then a little bit up this way. Maybe like a couple more this way. Okay. Over here will be the same. Another sort of swampy area where water collects up. Actually, these can probably connect. It'll just be like two different, because they're pretty separated with like one small connection point. Even if they have like cultures of like swamp peoples, they're probably not going to be interconnecting too much. They might have two variants because they're both heavily influenced by Qai-Farrah, probably where they get all their luxury goods. These guys are probably going to be poorer off because they're trapped behind these islands. So island farers probably getting the majority of the wealth from Qai-Farrah. This tropical valley is probably going to get more of the majority of the wealth from Qai-Farrah, and then we'll have trickle wealth to this region, and then probably to this region, probably like a savanna type region. So you basically have like radial prosperity from each major commerce point. So like this will have radial prosperity, and then this will have radial prosperity. This will probably be like a cultural influence for Qai-Farrah, because once you develop an abundance of necessities, then you start to develop abundance in like fine arts and stuff to occupy your time, because once you have to spend less time doing menial chores, you become bored, and so you look for more ways to entertain yourself, and so fine arts seem to develop, or at least societal festivities, something, cultural development. So because less prosperity in this area, probably less populous, less population. Yeah, no, maybe like a couple more. That's probably it. Yeah, yeah, it's looking good. These will probably be. Let's throw up some mountains on these islands. Obviously, it's a part of the same chain, right? Just hasn't been filled up yet by the debris from the river. Eventually, this river will expand out and connect these lands. So long as nothing else happens. But something else always happens. So. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Nice. Okay. Okay. That's good. Let's go ahead and paint. Get these sands all up in these mountains. Yeah, I like that sand color. We can come back through and change the colors around the rivers afterwards, but like we were talking about, big swaths and then tiny swaths of detail. We've already got our big swaths over here. Let's do our tiny swaths of detail. Looking good. Okay. Desert's colored in. Alright, we don't want that. Well, actually, no. Maybe we leave this as is. We don't need to be that detailed. Alright, we want to leave this area alone so we can fill out from the local map. Drop down some of these fat trees. Okay. Erase some trees, creeping away on the waterways. Okay, painting. So we can take away the detail paint. Okay. Detail paint. Look at some savanna colors or something, but that's probably good up there for now. Okay. Yeah. What are we gonna name this? Waste. Hmm. I don't know yet. Let's save the name for now. So we finish the whole region. Just go nameless desert. Okay. So I'm gonna go through and make the local map for this. And that will allow me to fill out the rest of this space up here. And then, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully by filling out this space, it'll help us know what to do with this space. I'm imagining though, like a prairie-esque dry shrubland, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.